This is Harley Hartwell, and you're listening to the Case Closed Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Case Closed Podcast. This is D-Wall, and I have a lot to talk about today. First of all, thank you guys for sticking with us. I know it's been a little bit since the last podcast, but with the holidays here and everything, it's expected to be a little slower around here, but I am in the process of trying to get as much done as possible for you guys so you guys can have some really great content here on the YouTube channel. If you're listening on the YouTube channel, thank you. Please leave a like and share this podcast with your friends. The YouTube algorithms have been very tricky as of late. Not that many people are getting notifications about the episodes coming out. They're not getting notifications about the podcasts. And this is happening all around YouTube. It's not just us. So my best thing the best advice that people have been giving around YouTube is to just like the videos, comment down below, share the videos, and just get the word out about them. And that's all we can do for right now. While YouTube is going through this phase that they're going through, that's really messing up a lot of people's subscribers and a lot of people's views. So make sure to do that if you can. That would be really appreciated. We'd really appreciate all the support you guys give the podcast and the content that we give to you guys. Also, don't forget to pledge to our Patreon. Our patrons have already heard this podcast before you guys that are listening right now. So if you guys want early access to the podcast and any of our other content that we're going to be doing in 2017, make sure to pledge, even if it's just $1. All of that goes towards our goal of getting to another panel to probably talk to some of these anime companies to try and see what we can do, lend our part to say, hey, let's get a season 6 out there, or let's get a movie 7 out there, or something. So we want to go to these panels. We want to meet you guys. We want to get the word out about this show, and every dollar helps. So thank you guys again for those who have donated to the Patreon page. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. And like I said, every dollar helps. Every small bit helps towards our goal of what we want to do with this community. Also, we are still looking for voices for our next episode of the Fan Dub. We got a few lines in, but we still need a few more. I know that the holiday season is here, and a lot of people are either out for holiday break or something like that. So if you can, let us know what's going on, and we'll get back to you. I'm pretty sure after the holidays are over, there will be more of an upswing in the fan dub. I know a lot of people are looking forward to the next episode, but it can only happen with you guys' help and with you guys getting in the voices that we need to get this going. And we appreciate everyone who's sent in voices, everybody who has participated with this fan dub. It's been a great success. So head on over and email caseclosed1992@live.com, and either myself or Professor C will get back to you at some point with that. And don't forget to check out our partners over at Infinity Productions. They've done a great job with their fan dub, with them dubbing the Black Organization episodes. So check them out, and those guys are doing real great over there. But now that all that's out of the way, let's get to the topic of today's podcast, which is the recent interview that the creator, the mastermind behind Detective Conan, Mr. Gosho Oyama, made a few weeks ago in Singapore about the series and about himself. And I'm not going to go through everything because there was a lot of questions that were asked, but I'm just going to go through the core that I would want to talk about today that's I think is very important. and talked about my thoughts on it. Um, and you can go to I got some of these questions, these translations from Detective Conan the Red Thread on Facebook. So go like them. Uh, and I've liked them for a while. They do a really great job over there. So I got some questions from them. I got some questions from the Translation Project. So there's numerous sources I've gotten these from just to make sure that the translations are correct, that so that I'm not messing anything up or I'm not saying the wrong things here. But here we go. Some of the questions that were asked from him are like this question right here. Will Conan alone be able to defeat the Black Organization? What about Akai and Amuro? I'm sorry if I mess these pronunciations up. Kai and Amuro will be needed, of course. This is Gosho's answer. I think that things may happen as you imagine. So Conan will not be able to defeat the Black Organization by himself. He won't defeat the Black Organization by himself. I think that's a good analysis there. I think that's obvious as well. I'm not trying to sound rude when I say it's that like that, but at the same time, I think that the Black Organization at this point is so massive and has so many members that I think him having a team behind him will probably benefit him better than him just going in by himself. As much as his ego would want him to, as much as he has a sense of justice, I'd like to put it better like that. That he doesn't really necessarily have an ego, but the point that he wants to go in by himself because of his sense of justice and everything, wanting to put that final nail in their coffin and everything. I think that he won't be able to do it by himself. He's going to need some help. And with the people that are behind him right now and who may be behind him in the future, I think that's a possibility. Now I'm going to get to... Okay, here we go. This question right here. If Conan goes back to Shinichi, would the story continue as the life of the high school Shinichi? And then he answers and says, well, I haven't given it a thought yet, but that could be interesting to do. So... I know a lot of people, myself included, out there have thought about this, about what will happen after Conan turns back, or if he turns back, depending on the end of the series. And I don't know. I mean, there was one question I think that talked about how. That's a different question. It was a question where how come Haiji and Dr. Agasa know his identity and everything. And Gosho laughed and joked. He said that it's more fun that way, that they know. But I'm guessing he meant that towards Haiji a little bit more because they're rivals and everything. But I think that it would be interesting to have a sort of mini series after the series concludes about what happened afterward. Because there's some movies where there's a perfect conclusion, and then there's a conclusion where it's like, okay, I kind of want to see what happens afterward. So let's just hypothetically say that Conan turns back, he goes with Rachel and all that stuff, or Ron, and they're happily ever after and all that. But what happens then? What happens to Hybora? What happens to the detective boys? What happens to Dr. Agasa? What happens to all these guys? All these characters that we have seen in the series or in the manga to this point, what happens to all of them? And I think that that's something that Gosho might end up doing, considering how popular the series is at this point. He may either make another movie with the aftermath, or he may do another... I don't see him doing like a gigantic series like Detective Conan has been, but I think that it's going to be something along the lines of a mini series. But either way, I think that that's an idea that he's probably thinking about in his head. And I would like it. I would enjoy seeing it. And I think fans would enjoy it as well, as long as he keeps it interesting and as long as he keeps it, to what happened after the series ends. So, either way, I think that'd be good. Another question that I think is pretty telling about the series is this question right here. He is asked, since the beginning of the story, how much time has passed until now? Now, before I give this answer, just know that it has been 20 years this series has gone on. 20 years. A bunch of manga, over 800 episodes, and what the answer I'm about to tell you guys is telling about how this is from Gosho himself. He asked this question and he answers half a year. It has been half a year in the entire series that everything that's happened, barring flashbacks and whatnot, has gone down. A half a year. So everything from him getting shrunk to now is half a year. That is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I can't sit here and tell you enough how unbelievable that answer is to me, because how can 20 years go by and it's only been half a year in the series? I mean, that explains why he hasn't grown up. That explains why Rachel's birthday hasn't happened yet. That explains kind of some things that have actually not happened yet. We remember, and I think I said this before on a podcast or a live stream, that that Gosho said in an interview once time before that Rachel's birthday, Ron's birthday, is going to play a very important role in the series. That something big is going to happen on Rand's birthday, and it hasn't happened yet. We've seen how and I don't count the movies. I don't count the movies because they're not canon, so I don't count those. I'm talking about in the actual series. That big event that Gosho said was going to happen hasn't happened yet, and I don't think the movies have either. I think the first movie, I think that was Conan's birthday. But like I said, I think that's canon anyway, so it doesn't happen. So, I think that it's going to happen. I just don't know when. And I'll get to that in a minute, because that's the big one. That's the big one that I want to talk about. But let's get to this next question here. Will you give Haibara a good life after the series ends? And he answers and says, yes, she will be turning into a good person. Don't know when, but there is a plan. So Haibara will have a good life, according to Gosho. She will be turning into a good person, according to him. So I think that's good. After the life she's had, she deserves one. But anyway, like I said, he said it himself. He's gonna have her have a good life. Hold on, I'm doing something here. Sorry, I had some people come in, messaging me. But anyway, sorry about that, guys. Like I was saying, he says, yes, she'll be turning into a good person. Don't know when, but there is a plan. What that plan is, I don't know. It's probably in relation to the end of the series, but I guess we'll have to see. But in any case, I think it's still good. I think it's still good that this is going to happen, and I think a lot of fans of hers will be very pleased with that. But either way, let's see. Question about Rand and Conan's real identity. And this is a question. Like I said, I got this from various sources. Some of these aren't actually questions; they're just like statements about the question that was asked. But I'm pretty sure he was asked. This means he was asked about Rand knowing Conan's identity. And he answers and says he thinks it's more fun / exciting that she doesn't know. And I think that's true, because if she knew, then it wouldn't be as fun. I think it wouldn't be as suspenseful as what's been going on, because that makes it seem like, okay, she knows, and now it's just as if he was right there next to her, you know, and that's not as fun. But the fact that she keeps on speculating, and she keeps wondering. Sometimes there's been sometimes in the series that she kind of has this inkling that, okay, they're the same person, but and then reality it's like, no, they don't. She doesn't know, but and that's what makes it, that's more exciting. That's more exciting. That's more engaging. That's the right word. That's the right word. It's more engaging than it would be if she just knew, just like that. So, in any case, I think that she'll find out at the end, just like I thought. Just like a lot of people think, it's probably going to be at the end when she knows and she finds out the truth. And like I said, I think it's better that way. Let's try and get some more here that doesn't involve. Okay. This one's good. Is there a reason why Kaido Kid and Shinichi look alike? And he answers and says, I can't answer to that question. There is a reason why, though. So there is a reason. There is a reason. But, I don't know. I'm sure he has a plan, but it's probably going to be very, very, very interesting to hear why that is. There's a rumor that Yusaku Kudo is the boss, Shinichi's dad, and he answers and says it's a lie. That's all he says. So there's that. It's a lie. Okay, let's see. Oh, this one's big. Are Akemi and Akemi. You guys are gonna have to help me with these names. I'm telling you what. I know one person in the comments last podcast got onto me for a name for Funimation. It's called Funimation. Funimation or Funimation. It's however it's pronounced, and they got onto me about that, and I'm like, I mean, it's just how I pronounce it, and I don't have to get them all right. I'm not perfect, but I'm trying here. So I'm sorry if I get things wrong. But yeah, are Akemi and Akai cousins? And he says yes, they are. And the person who asked the question was like, no. So there's that. So they're cousins. Yeah. Sorry to spoil things for you guys, but I'm just here to tell you guys what he said, and this is coming straight from the horse's mouth, straight from Gosho's mouth. So, just letting you guys know. And as you guys know, the movie 21 already has this poster out. It already has updated the website for the next movie. It's about Haiji and Kazuya, their whole thing, and here we go. This is the question about this. I've heard that the next movie will be about the love story of Hattori and Kazuya. Can you give us more details? And he answers and says, one thing I can tell is that there will be a rival character in between Hattori and Kazuya, which has been appeared in the manga already, for according to various sites that I've read. She's already appeared, but she will only be for the movie. So there you go. And she's on the poster also. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And this is going back to that whole thing. It says the latest Conan movies have been focusing on action rather than mystery. Is that a trend for the next movies as well? And he answers this is a summary. So this is the short, condensed version. He answers and says the next movie will be focused more on mystery rather than action. So that's good. We need more mystery. The action is great. I like the action, but it's more along the lines of we need that whole mystery element to the series. I mean, that's what it's based on, mysteries, not just action. It's a if you infuse both of that perfectly, as we've seen before in the series and in the movies, then that's a perfect balance. And I think that Gosho with the movies, I know he has a say in it, but not too much of a say in the movies. But I think that, which I'll get to that question in a second. But I think he would. I think he needs to put more emphasis on more mystery rather than action, and find that perfect balance of both. Because with the series nearing its end, in many people's opinion, with File 1000 coming up, I think that, and I'll get to that in a minute too. I think that that perfect balance will set the tone for that. So we'll see. Speaking of that, he got questioned about the involvement in the movies, and here's what it says according to the Red Thread on Facebook. This translation, which was also credited to someone, coronholmes.loafter.com. Apparently, he joked about the staff wanting him less involved in the production because he stepped in a lot during the making of the last movie, which is movie 20. He usually writes the plot/story by himself and draws original pictures for the movies. There aren't scenes he doesn't want other people to draw. He wants to draw the good scenes himself. So Gosho has a big hand in these movies. That is known right now. They may not be canon, but Gosho does put a lot of input into how the movies go and how they're drawn and things like that. So that is something different as well. Let me go quickly here. It's already reaching 20 minutes. I didn't want this to be a long podcast, but oh well. Let's see. Here we go. This is the big one. And these are going through several questions that are related to this. Questions about the ending of the series. Basically, he says he knows the ending of the series will sadden the fans, but yes, the series is going towards its climax. Anything has an end. And the audience sounded sad about it. And the moderator asks if it will continue, if he will continue until volume 200, and he says, "Who knows? Maybe." And he gets questioned later on. I have in my notes here. How I guess most people are interested on it yet. Do you have an idea of how Conan's end will be like? And he answers, "I have it, of course." This was from his second session. How much time will it take to get to that resolution? That's a secret. And that was before he was asked about the Shinichi story, about if he will continue it, if he will continue the story after, if he goes back to being Shinichi. And then he asked, earlier on, he's asked this: will we ever see the wedding between Shinichi and Ron in the manga and anime? And he answers, "Oh." And then after a long hesitation and mumbling, he answers, "That is a very difficult to answer. So we may not see it, we may see it, who knows." And then he's asked, "Will anyone die at the end of Detective Conan?" And it's a secret, he answers. So, and also, he says that Conan and kids' organizations are totally different. So the rumor about the Kaido kid chasing after the black organization because of that whole clue about them trying to raise the dead through the stream of time and things like that, and kid trying to go after the Pandora jewel because about its thing of immortality, they're totally different. But about back to the ending, he says that the ending will sadden fans, but yes, the series is going towards its climax. It is coming to an end soon. We don't know when, we don't know how, but it's coming to an end. And also he says that the truth of the black organization will start to be revealed from the 70th to 90th volume. According to a slideshow, some of the slideshows that were at the event. And Yeah, he says, yes, we're nearing the climax, but maybe it will continue to volume 200. So we don't know. We don't know, but he says it. He says it himself. We're reaching the climax of the series. It's coming closer, guys. So that makes me very excited. And considering the fact that there's a bunch of things going on, we're fine. Like movie in episode one, the remake of episode one, featuring a lot of backstory as to what happened before he got shrunk. The backstory is coming soon in the next few days, if not already, depending on when you're hearing this podcast right now. All that's going to reveal a whole lot, and Gosho is 100% all the way through that. He has overseen every aspect of that remake. So bits and pieces of the story are going to be put back into place after that episode airs. And considering that we have the number 2 boss in the whole organization, the number 2 guy, the second in command, pretty much, is now floating around somewhere. We've got more backstory on Mary. If you haven't read the manga or seen the recent animes, you won't know who I'm talking about. But she's there. The whole backstory with Bourbon, he's around. All of these things are coming together, and File 1000 is almost here. And it seems to me, if this is true, that the series is about to end. And it would make sense, in my opinion, and you can let me know in the comments below if you think I'm right on this. It would make sense for the 22nd movie to be the end, considering how much time it would take for the manga and the anime to get translated and animated and things like that. But still, I think that we're getting closer to the end. It's getting there. It's getting real close, guys. And it's time. I think it's time for us to start speculating what's going to happen. I mean, just based on what he said here, he says that he knows the ending of the series will sadden the fans. So something's going to happen that's going to sadden fans. What that is, I don't know. Will somebody die? Probably. It seems like it. Will there be an ending that people won't like? Maybe, according to what he said. We don't know. We can only speculate. He says it's going to sadden. He knows the ending will sadden fans. So he's got something up his sleeve. Something's planned. And we don't know what it is. But it's up to speculation at this point. But either way, I'm excited for the next year. The next year is going to be very telling as to the direction the series is going to go. These next 2 years, 2017 and 2018, are going to be very telling as to what's going to happen with the series, because by then, File 1000 is going to be out. And File 1000, who knows? It might be Rand's birthday with that big event that might happen. Who knows? It might be the end. We don't know. It might be at least the big final battle. I don't know. We don't know. But either way, I think something big is going to go down. And I don't know what. But we can only speculate. And maybe the next podcast, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about what you think the ending of the series is going to be. Let me know what you guys think is going to happen to Rand, to Shinichi, to Conan, to Hybra, to the Black Organization, to all these characters. Let me know what you guys think, and maybe I will read some of these comments on the next podcast and talk about them. Maybe I'll have a guest on or two to discuss it and see what you guys think. That would be a good idea to do. But like I said, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what kind of questions you like to know. And thank you guys for listening. I know this was kind of a long podcast, but there's a lot to talk about with this interview. There was like 95 questions, so I didn't want to go through every single one. But I wanted to hit the big points and let you guys know what he was talking about. And this was just a few weeks back, so we don't know what's going to happen, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens next with Detective Conan. It's a pretty interesting time to get involved and, talking about the manga and the anime. So we'll see. Thank you guys for listening. Again, donate to the Patreon page if you can. Email caseclose1992 at live.com. We need some more voices. Check out the Facebook, the Twitter. Also, check out the forums. Check out Infinity Productions and their fan-dub, their things that they're doing over there. They're doing some great work over there with everything that they're doing. And I will talk to you guys again next time. Hopefully, I'll try to get some more updates into you about what's going to go on in 2017. I have some big things I want to do. Will they get done? I don't know. I hope they do. But we'll just have to wait and see. I'll talk to Professor C about it, see what he has to say, and I'll let you know on that. Thank you guys so much. This is D-Wall, and I'll talk to you guys on the next episode of the podcast.